Alright guys, welcome to a very exciting video. Today I was lucky enough to head into BigAnt to check out Pro Team in all of its glory. Got to play game modes, crack a few packs, and luckily enough I'm able to share the information with you guys. So there's a bit to get through, but sit tight and I'll be able to explain everything as in good of detail as I can. And if you've got any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments below. So I'll try and start from the beginning as per the trailer video that we've got on here behind us, because it's probably just easiest to reference it this way. So starting with the anchor players. So from what I could see, that these players aren't all predetermined. So it did look very random as to who would pop up on this screen for you to pick. And obviously, as we can see here, that there was not only the blue cards, but obviously like a diamond card, I guess you would call it as well. So I wasn't sure if they were the standard, that they were the only ones to pick from, but it's not. It's from what I could see, it's random. So it'll be a bit of a surprise to see what everyone gets when they first open up their packs. Now, the second thing as well that I asked about, obviously on the cards here, you've got those symbols for the archetypes, which already do exist in single player mode, but you will notice that I think there's a guide section on the Pro Team page that does explain what all the archetypes do. So essentially, from what I could understand, is that if you play out, say this is the strength archetype, it would add X amount of stats to that strength column for that player. So it automatically does that for you. You don't have to do anything with it. This is more just, it shows you what archetype the player is. But yeah, there will be a guide will have you a bit of a rundown of what they all mean, which transfers to both the offline mode and the Pro Team mode as well. Alrighty, now on to the card packs themselves. Like I said, we did crack a couple of packs, which was really good, which was really fun. I think we did some of the Emerald ones. But with the packs, so you will notice, and this was interesting because this was left in deliberately, that this was an AFL 2023 season pack. So you will get players from 2023. I know there were some comments about some players in this particular trailer video that weren't on that current list, but from what I could tell, you will be able to get players that maybe did play for the club at one point in time, and then they might have a better card of them, which means they might be at their new club. So both things can coexist from what I could tell, which is kind of cool. Now with the packs, you can get obviously packs that have got consumables, i.e. contracts and things for your club, as well as players. You can also get pure just player packs, which is like what we see here with the bronze pack. And there's no doubt going to be other packs that pop out from time to time. And the beauty of it is that BigAnt can be pretty nimble about releasing packs from what I can tell. So whether we've got theme rounds and things like that, I'm sure there's plenty of scope to do plenty of cool things down the track with these type of cards, which is nice. So the other thing worth noting as well with the cards is if you get a duplicate card, you do have two options. You can either quick sell and you get some coins for that, or you can actually add the duplicate to your club, and what it will do, it'll actually stack the contracts that come with that new card onto your existing card. So it's a little bit of strategy involved there, depending on what players are available for you to pick. Do you want to extend their contracts, or do you want to discard and get coins? So something a little bit different there. There is no transfer market, so you won't have the ability to buy or sell cards on the market, but you will be able to quick sell duplicates if you do get them, like I said, or you can add them to your club and it just stacks those contracts on top. So from what I can tell, it looks like we should probably try and hang on to as many cards as possible, because there are quite a few game modes to play, which we'll get to shortly. So maybe early days especially, don't be too trigger happy in selling or discarding cards. It probably does pay to hold on to as many as you can, I reckon. Now looking at the setup lineups that you can have for your Pro Team. Now I believe you can have somewhere around, I think it was maybe 8 to 10 starting lineups or squads that you could have. So if you wanted to have a squad full of Richmond players, you could have that saved as one lineup. If you wanted a squad full of all Australian players, if you had them, you could do that as well. So yeah, I think you've got somewhere between 8 to 10 slots that you can do. You can have that amount of squads saved. And in terms of your actual stats and data, when it counts your games and your goals and all that kind of stuff, it's a collation of between all of your squads. So it's a cumulative all the way across the board. But yeah, I thought 8 to 10 squads was a pretty good number to have. With your consumable packs, pretty straightforward. You got, I think it was gold, silver, bronze. And from what I could tell, if you did a gold stadium, for example, in one of your packs, that was more likely to be a top-end stadium, so like an SCG, for example. Compared to if you pulled a bronze stadium, that was going to be like your local Churnside Park kind of stadium, if that makes sense. So it's all relative to the color card you pull as to what kind of consumable that you get. But just keep an eye on those contracts. Don't get rid of them too quickly. All right, so now to some of the more exciting stuff, which all sits within the menus. Now, this first part I'm going to talk about, I can't quite exactly remember which part it sat in, so apologies if I end up ultimately getting it wrong. But when you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But within, I think it was in the level progression part from what I could remember. The game's got one of those battle pass progressions, kind of like what you see in EAFC, where you earn experience, you go up through the levels, and you get rewards for it, whether it's packs, it could be XP boosts, it could be consumables, things like that. So XP as well, obviously, is earned by winning games, but there's also bonus XP on offer for completing objectives, which could be something like kicking 3 goals from outside 50 or kicking a goal from the centre square. I didn't see what any of them were, but just some random things. Just think logical football things that would be in a game, I'm guessing, are the type of things we'll see. So XP to be earned in multiple different ways, which does count towards your progression, your season progression, in which you unlock lots of good things along the way. So cards to keep yourself going, which is very good. All right, now to the fun part, the game modes, which is probably the part that honestly took me by surprise the most, with how many different varieties of game modes that are on offer, both against AI and also there's the player versus player experience as well. We'll start off with coach battles. Obviously, this is just a still shot from the trailer that we saw, so I obviously can't click on anything or open it. But in coach battles, there was a lot of speculation of what that might be. So coach battles actually houses a lot of the AI-based games. So there's one called Team of the Week, where BigAnt can put together a Team of the Week, which, it could be based on just players they want to pick. Maybe it's based on a metric measurable by the AFL. Who knows what the metrics might be to do it. But they put together a Team of the Week, which is AI-based, and you play against them for rewards, which was really cool. So when on this trailer, when you see that Team of the Week banner at the end, that's what that's in relation to. That's not, I think at that time they were in a different part of the menu, but it's not related to that. That Team of the Week sits within coach battles. So yeah, you play against a Team of the Week in an AI format, which is really cool. The second game mode in coach battles is more of a community-based one, and this one was really, really interesting. So I think they've called it Tug of War from what I could remember. And basically, let's say in real life there's a marquee game coming up. Let's say it was Dreamtime at the G, Essendon versus Richmond. So you could go into the Tug of War mode, pick if you want to play as Essendon or pick if you want to play as Richmond. You play your game, and if you win, you're scoring points for either Essendon or Richmond. And then as a community, whichever team scores the most points, if you were part of that team and they win, and they're the winning team by the end of the countdown, then they get rewards from what I could gather. So there's always rewards and packs and boosts and things like that attached to the end of these things. So you're not playing it for no reason. It's actually it's this game's way of grinding a way to get your packs up to be able to get better players. But the community-based one was a really cool idea, I thought. So yeah, they can sort of pick and choose and add whichever games, like in real life, come to mind, and then yeah, you can pick whatever side you want to be, play as that side, and then hopefully your team's the winning team at the end of the time, or I don't know how long they give for each one. That was a cool concept. And then secondary to that, I can't remember if this was also called Tug of War, but it was just a variation of it, or if it had a different name, so apologies if it's got a different name. The best way I can describe it, and apologies if it's not a very good description, but imagine you've got a boss team. So in the example I saw, the team you had to beat was Richmond, and the Richmond team had 500 HP health on the coach battle screen. And then so if I go and play them with I take my pro team, play against Richmond AI in this mode, I beat them, they lose a bit of HP. Then a couple of you guys go and play with your pro team against this Richmond side, you beat them, they lose some HP. And then the aim of the game is to try and kill the big boss club by knocking off all their HP by everyone playing against them before the timer runs out. And from what I could tell, if you're part of that team or the part of the group that helped knocked off the team, you get rewards at the end of it. So another community-based challenge where everyone's got to chip in to try and knock off a team, which I'm guessing they could do whatever they want with those sides. They could make it extremely hard if they want to, I suppose. But I haven't seen anything like that before in any other games, and I thought that was a really cool feature and a really nice game mode that is AI-based. So you're not having to worry about lag or latency or anything like that. You're just playing against AI, but it's just a bit of a different mode. Alrighty, so ladder leaders was the next one. I think I'm getting this correct, so apologies if these next two are swapped, but I'm pretty sure I've got this right. Ladder leaders, from what I can remember, is the online mode, so the player versus player. And it's a really nice little system. So obviously a lot of us probably played FIFA and you're used to division rivals and things like that. So it's not so much a rivals league where you're going up and down. They actually have structured it like an AFL footy ladder. So there's a top 8 and then there's a bottom 8. So every time you go into this mode, you just click A or X to start searching for your game. If you win, you obviously are building up points for yourself, and you want to try and get up into the top 8. So which is broken, each spot's broken down by a different percentage. So if you're first place, that might be the top 5%, for example. Second place, the top 10%, and so on and so on. Without it goes without saying, the higher up in the top 8 you get, the better rank or the better rewards that you get. So it sort of rewards people playing games and banking wins and getting points on the board to secure themselves in the top 8. And if memory serves correctly, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think there might be even a final series attached to that as well. I suppose my interpretation of it was the champs finals in EA is like a comparison to that. So if you're in the top 8, I think, don't quote me on it, but I reckon might be a chance to get additional rewards. So that was interesting too. And then for the bottom 8, you can still keep playing to earn packs. It's kind of like a rebuild mode essentially. So you're trying to earn more packs to better your team to then make a push for the next 8, for the top 8, in the next season. So a bit of a cool concept that they've been able to relate it heavily back to AFL. So yeah, your aim's to be in the top 8 to get those good rewards. Premiership Challenge is the next one on there. This was another AI-related mode. So it had all 18 clubs listed, and it was kind of like you got to work your way up. So you start playing against the 18th club, and you can't progress to the 17th club until you complete this challenge. Now, I can't remember if these teams were stacked heavily with like gun cards or gun players, or if they were run-of-the-mill ones, but what I do remember is the stipulations on the games were different and did increase and get harder as you got higher up the ladder. So one of the ones I saw, and these are all subject to change, mind you, so these can be tweaked at any time depending on what the final release of it looks like. But one of them I saw was like 10-minute quarters on hardest, for example. You have to try and win a game. So as you get up that ladder, it gets harder and harder, and obviously the rewards I believe they got better and better. But the beauty of it is all these games you're playing, whether it's against AI these ones against AI, you're actually in a position to unlock stuff to help better your team. So that's always a good sign. It's that you can unlock things along the journey. And single match is as what it says. If you want to play a mate in a friendly game, you can invite him in single match. Pretty run-of-the-mill stuff. Nothing special to talk about there. Pretty self-explanatory. So they are the game modes. Like I said, a lot of them I've not really heard of before or seen done before, so I was pretty excited to see the setup of those. I know a lot of people were nervous about it being too heavily player versus player based. I know a lot of people do like to play, on their own time against AI and things like that, and they were worried that would there be enough progression on the line by playing AI, and the answer is definitely yes. You will definitely be able to progress and get your packs up to be able to get players if you're playing AI. So it sort of puts to bed the rumor, and there's a lot of myths around that these types of games are pay to win. They're not. You can easily, from what I've seen, you can easily build a team with packs just by completing objectives, just by doing your coach battle games in the different formats. Plenty of ways for you to earn packs without having to spend an extra cent. So it's not pay to win. Obviously, if you do want to do that, you can. And for those people who do want to pay and buy for packs, I believe you will be able to see like a button that can show you the pack percentages as well, like what you get on EA. So that's all still the same kind of stuff. But other than that, yeah, it far exceeded what I thought it would be like, which was good. And Legends, I believe it. I mean, Legends are their face. They haven't left Legends out. I know a few people have sort of been skeptical about Legends, but Legends are there, and I reckon we might see a few more than what was on that list as well, hopefully. But no, I'm very excited to go in today to check it all out, and very excited to be able to talk about it with you guys. Look, I don't know a date of when the game's coming, but it's literally ready to go. As soon as all the relevant parties give the green light, they will literally just be able to click a button and away it goes. It is ready to rumble at any given moment. So hopefully we see that sooner rather than later, of course. But yeah, if you've got any questions, let us know in the comments below. Otherwise, look, you're happy to talk about it on stream if you want to drop by, pink_panners. But for me, again, it's the game modes that are probably the most exciting thing for me. A few things that we've not seen before, some good AI games, and looking forward to seeing how it all pans out when the mode drops, hopefully very, very soon.